So we're going to make this yellowy, shimmery gold card ourselves in a moment. And then the rest comes from the embossing folder and some gold card. But it's the shape of the card that we need to just go through. So you need to cut a piece of card the width of a whole A4 sheet, so the width, and then it needs to be 5 5/8 deep. 5 5/8. So I have got it written down. I then need my scoreboard, and I need to make sure I'm on the inches side. I need to score at 2 7/8 from that end, and I'm going to turn it all the way around, and I'm going to score at 2 7/8 from that end. Okay, my scoreboard away there. Okay, and I'm going to fold them over and burnish, and fold it over and burnish. Okay, right, so I have now the basis of the easel, but not the diamond shape. So what I need now are 2 4-inch squares. 2 4-inch squares. Okay, I'm just going to make sure I'm getting this the right way. Okay, so before, as you can see, those measurements mean that this square fits completely onto that bottom flap. Okay, and I'm going to stick that straight on. I'm just going to put glue on half and stick that straight on, and that's the base part of the card. Okay. And then I have my other 4-inch square, and I do apologise, my mat is quite mucky, so I'm getting bits on it. And this one will stick here. Now at this point you do have a choice. I quite like leaving this bit on, but you could, if you wanted to, cut those 2 bits off, so you wouldn't have this and you wouldn't have this, and you'd just have this lovely diamond. You just have this lovely diamond bit pointing down. That's a personal choice, but that is how you get your diamond shape. So I am going to just carry on and do that. Okay. Right. So that's our base card. We have our base card done now, and I'm going to put that across to one side. Okay. What I'm going to show you now is how to make this sort of the yellowy shimmery gold card, and it's really quite straightforward. You need a piece of white stamping card, and I am using 2 lovely Cosmic Shimmer products here. I've got the pearlescent watercolour ink, and the colour is Golden Sunrise, and I have the Pixie Sparkle highlights. Now these are slightly different to the Pixie Sparkles in that the Pixie Sparkles, they have the sparkle, but they also have a pigment, a colour in. So when you saw me spray the last one, you saw the greens and the yellows and the blues. This is just purely the sparkle. So this one is a gold sparkle, which I will just add over the top of the yellow. So I'm just going to grab my little pot, which I've already got a few bits of ink in. These are great. I love these little toppers. I know I've mentioned this before if you've watched the previous one. They have these lovely little droppers and this lovely little button here, which pushes it out. And if you put it in, it sucks it up. Makes it really easy to get the ink in and out of the bottle. So I'm just going to drop some into my, in fact, I'm going to do it in a separate one because I can see I've managed to get some blue ink in that pot. And I don't really want green. So I'm going to have a nice new clean one. Okay. We're going to just do literally a wet on wet technique. So I've got some clean water. Surprisingly, it is clean this time. I've said clean before. It's not been quite clean, but it is clean-ish, possibly. Okay, and all I'm going to do is I'm literally going to spread the water with my brush. I'm not spraying it because I don't want it so damp. Oh, look, there we go. Picked up some red from somewhere that was on either my brush or my thing. And then I'm literally going to take some of the yellow, and depending on how dark you want it, is how much you apply. I kind of don't want it too bright yellow. I kind of want quite a pale yellow. So a bit more over here. It does need to have some water there, because just like the Pixie sparkles, the Pixie sparkle highlights, the mica is activated by water. So if you don't activate it with the water, it will brush off when it's dry. So the idea is you just literally tap on the bottom. We're getting the sparkle. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not. Yes, brilliant. Okay, it is. Okay, now you can be. This is when I watched Jamie do this, because I thought I better check I'm doing it right. He was showing me like this nice little tap, which is lovely. I'm a bit impatient, so I tend to use it a bit more like a salt and pepper shaker. It depends how much you want, and you can. I can see where I've been and where I haven't been. Yeah, I can see where I've been. I can see where I haven't. I can see how much more I would like. So I'm going to leave it at that. I am going to give it a very fine mist. I can find one that's got any water left. No. I've got one that's got water. I've used so much water today. Yay! Right, I'm just going to literally give it a fine mist to make sure that I have got all of that lovely sparkle in water. Okay, now I am going to put that to one side to dry. And in lovely Blue Peter fashion, I do have one I did earlier. But before I bring it in, I am going to clean up my mess. So have we got lots of people this afternoon, or
in the 20s again? Yeah.
Ooh, lovely.
Not quite as many as earlier, but still.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so here is the piece that I did earlier. This one's a little bit darker, but the shimmer is there from that beautiful Pixie Pixie sparkle highlights. Okay, so if I get my base card back in, here we go. I have pre-cut 2 gold mats for the 2 here, which I'm going to stick on now. But I want to obviously put the gold also into these triangular bits, and I'm going to show you a way to do that in a moment. So it's that one stuck in. This is the gold card I'm using is the Creative Expressions Foundation's gold mirror card. It's a lovely gold, not sort of a brassy gold. It's a nice one. Okay, so here we go. So that's stuck on. Now, what I've done is I've cut one strip, and I've cut one strip that is pretty much the same as one of these parts that I scored earlier, just slightly smaller, as if I was doing a mat and layer in that whole area. Okay, so if you cut that, then if you, however wide you've cut it, find the midpoint. Okay, and I'm just going to cut it in half. Ugh. If I can get it to go in, my fingers are all sticky. I'm just going to cut that straight down in half. And then I'm going to cut each of these in half. So I'm lining up, I'm hoping that's being picked up by the camera. I'm lining up the corner here, and I'm lining up the corner here, and I'm cutting it into 2 triangles. And I will do the same on this one. So line up the corner here, line up the corner here, and cut. Okay. It says a lot of faffy measuring for the triangles. Now these, if I've done it right, let's get it up the right way. These will now fit in here. Okay, you can see the way they're cut, it leaves me a nice white border. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to stick those down. That is the simplest way to create the correct shape for those corners, because otherwise if you try measuring, it's an almost impossible task. Almost impossible task. I'm just going to push that in a little bit to get the measurements accurate. I'm sure there is a real mathematical reason for this working. I'm not really too worried what it is, as long as it works. Okay, and then these two will fit here. Okay. This one will go in here. And they kind of butt right up against the diamond that we put on earlier. I know I'm getting mucky, sticky fingers over my mirror card, and I do apologise about that. Now, okay, so this one's not fitting, and it's probably because I can see I've not lined this edge up properly. So, in an ideal world, I'd probably go back and trim that, but I'm just going to go with it for now. You can see it's ended up quite close here and quite close here because I have not lined up my original diamond very well. It will still look fine though. It will still look fine. So if I put it forward, you can see that's where we're at so far with my mucky fingers on it. I'm sorry. So the next thing we need to do is to cut our parts for the top. So I'm going to lie my card down on top of the gold bit. That's where it's going to go. That's all. And I'm going to just like ooh, eyeball it there. Eyeball it, ooh, just slightly there. And there's my top bit. Oops. Okay. So that's going to be there. And because this one should be the same size, I'm just going to use this piece of card again, because it will be the same depth. And I will cut this little bit off. So there's will be my two squares. I'm really conscious that my nails are disgusting with all the ink that I've been using. I apologise for that. So that one's going to go there, and that one's going to go there. To do these ones, we do it in exactly the same way as we did. I think I've cut a piece already, but I haven't. We do it in exactly the same way. Is that okay there?
Yes.
So I'm going to measure a piece that will fit. If I do it that way, that will fit in here. I'm probably going to need to be a bit smaller than that to go inside the gold. I'm going to cut another. I am sure I did this piece somewhere. Oh yes, it's on the floor. I know I'd already measured it. Here we go. So I've already cut my piece. So it will fit on top here. I've measured my halfway. I'm going to trim that down, cut that in half, and then cut my triangles again. One up, and two lots. Okay. So these are now going to stick on top of my triangles. And here. One. That's not been cut very well. I do apologise. I'm going to continue.
Maria has commented saying that mucky hands are a sign of a busy craft.
Ah, good. Good. It usually eventually goes when you wash your hair. I don't know what it is in shampoo, but that removes it all. But yeah, it sticks around until you've washed your hair. Right, that one's done. And then we'll do the top bits here. Yeah, again, this I think the trimmer's not quite caught that properly, but we will persevere. One in there and one in there. Okay. So there we go. Those are our corners sorted. They are by no means perfect this afternoon. I do apologise. A little bit more measuring would probably have helped, but you get the idea. So for these two bits, we are going to emboss them with the 3D embossing folder, the Nelly Sneller one. Now, You need to make sure when you're embossing that this is a 3D one, so it's going to be nice and deep. You need to make sure you've got it up the right way for the side of your card. So I know that I want it to be embossed on this side. So I'm just checking here that I can feel the indentations. So that when this goes over, it will be pushed up into the card and embossed. So the other thing I'm doing is I'm just checking if I like where this is in order to have the best sort of outcome from the folder. I'm just fiddling around with it a little bit. So I've got a little bit of it touching all the way around. And for this folder, this type of folder in the Gemini, I use the cutting plate, I use the magnetic shim, and I use the cloudy one. Just the cloudy one is not enough pressure. So the magnetic shim just gives it that extra little bit of pressure to get the depth in.
Maria commented saying cheap dandruff shampoo is best for cleaning up all of your hands.
Oh, okay. I'll stop using my expensive stuff then. Cheap dandruff shampoo. I'll put that on my shopping list. Thank you. Okay, so there's one. There's one from at the top. Ooh, something's wet there. Who knows what that is? So there's one there. And then my second one, do exactly the same. Check that I've got the folder the right way up. Close it down. Have a fiddle. Yep, that will do. I think, I don't know about dandruff shampoo. I think I need anti-molting shampoo. I think I'm molting all over the equipment as well. Put that through. That felt too easy. That felt like I didn't have everything in there. Let's check. Oh dear. I really am going to have to grow some arms. Oh no, it was fine. It's fine. Okay. There we go. So I now have my two pieces for my top and my bottom. So I'm going to stick those on. Now, while I'm doing this, if you look at the card to the left of me, the finished one, all I have done to embellish that is I have embossed the folder onto the gold mirror card, and I have embossed the folder onto plain white card. And then I have chosen some of the bits of holly to fussy cut. So I've embossed it onto white, I've embossed it onto gold, and then I've had a look to see, right, which ones are great for fussy cutting. So this one here, you can see it's complete, it's got all its points. This one slightly smaller, this one here as well. So what I chose to do was to fussy cut this one out and the same in white. And I've shadowed them together like that. That's this piece here. And then I also did the same. Oh yeah, there it is. I chose the smaller bit, I think, which bit, that bit there. So I've already fussy cut it out in white, and I'll just